actually knew a lawyer who was in Hong Kong at the time, but he was from North Shields, and he was like, he's like, put us in touch. He goes, "Oh, I'll help you." But I mean, I don't know what I can say, but his exact words to us, the lawyer will roll over before you get bent over. And I,
I love that.
and I was like, right, okay. My name's John Peacock from Coast Fest, and I love North Shields.
Hi, welcome to Voices of North Shields podcast. I'm your host, Pauline Stewart. I volunteer with I Love North Shields magazine. We're coming from Crugal Creative House, North Shields today, and I'm delighted to say our first guest is John Peacock.
Well, thanks very much for having us. Yeah, it's a pleasure. Coming back to my old stomping ground, and you've got a great setup, so I'm looking forward to chatting with you today.
Great stuff, John. So, have you always lived in North Shields, John? Did you grow up here?
I did. I grew up in North Shields. My mum's from North Shields, my dad's from Shiremoor, and my dad's from a family of 12 kids, so he's had a very busy life, and I've got two brothers as well. But yeah, I've grew up here. I went to primary school here, high school, college, down at Tynemouth College when it was called that. And yeah, I love the place. It's an amazing place. It's a great part of the world to live in.
So how did you start in Coast Fest? What was your original idea, or what were the beginnings of the project?
Well, like most great ideas, I mean, I've been a music promoter for 20 odd years, and I've always like done gigs in pubs and like some bigger concerts, some smaller ones, like all great ideas. It started from being in a pub. I used to own a pub called Alfie and Finn's, and me and the lads were just having a beer one night and thought, wouldn't it be great to have a music festival in North Shields? And then next thing you know, I've got a music festival in North Shields. I don't know how it happened, but it has. So yeah, that was where it came from. It was like kind of like to give opportunities to the young artists to play on a festival stage in an outdoor environment alongside national touring headliners, and just give them a bit of a platform to play a bunch of new people, because I was in bands years ago. I mean, when I was in my like late teens and stuff like that, and we didn't really have opportunities like that. Everything was like down south in London, and you had to travel for it, and nobody had the money to do that. So, like, why not try and do something for the new breed of bands and artists so they can play on the big stage, so to speak.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sure very appreciative of that. Like you say, a lot was happening down south, and like it was like travel involved, and so having the opportunity here would have been a brilliant occasion for them. How long's Coast Fest been rolling for? Is it 4 years? Or?
Yeah, we're going into our fourth year now. Our first one was 2023. And it was fantastic. The community support was absolutely amazing. I didn't expect it. But we're back to being against the wall as kind of like the underdogs for the last 4 years. But we're here and we're still established. And there's a lot of festivals been going by the wayside lately, and we're very lucky in the fact that we're actually able to put a festival on this year, because everything's more expensive, and the artists, infrastructure, and everything really. So it's difficult. It's a slog, but we've got some wonderful backers. We've got some wonderful volunteers and stuff who help us keep the thing going. So we're excited for August Bank Holiday. And yeah, I don't know how we've managed it, but we have, and we're here. So
it sounds amazing. And would it be true to say that another challenge is also like weather can be like something you need to work with? Like,
yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think, sorry, pardon me. Last year, I think it was a Saturday afternoon, like it really chucked it down. And, people just like kind of like fled to the marquees and stuff like that and stayed under there. So our main stage artists were a little bit like playing to half a crowd, but a lot of the North Shields lot, they don't really care. They're just like, oh, we'll just get wet. I mean, our first year we had Judge Jules, the dance DJ, headlining on the Friday night, and it was our first night of the festival, proper basically, and it absolutely teamed it down. From the second we opened the gates until the second we closed the gates, and then it stopped raining. But it was torrential, But once people like kind of like just got wet and got used to it, they just had their tops off and all sorts. Like we enjoy it, but it just shows the spirit of North Shields. The people that like kind of they want these things to happen and they want to come out for a good time.
totally agree with you there. I think it's like the true grit. When we were there, we seen like a few people's actually just dancing about in like black bin liners. It's like, we will not be deterred even with this deluge of rain. Yeah. So it's like, it's a real good weekend, and tickets are selling fast. So when you go back and think about organising the festival, could you share what would have been like one of your happiest memories?
I think one of my happiest memories of the festival, well, we had, was it 2 years ago? We had Professor Green, who's quite a big like household name, I suppose, headline on the Saturday night, and I remember just like standing back after that and going like, this is good. This is a really. That was a moment because I was like, because it was such hard work, especially in that particular year, like financially and stuff. But Steve and Professor Green absolutely smashed it, and the crowd seemed to be having a great time. And that was one of the moments where I was like, this is definitely worth doing. Like all of the stuff what comes with it, like it's a stressful full year, but once everything comes to fruition, I mean, it's the same for every year really. But when it all comes to fruition and people are having a good time in the field, it's amazing, So it's like it's a proper like buzz, so to speak.
It is. I love how everyone is so friendly and helpful. And at the time, it was the first time I'd met Krugal, and I actually interviewed Susan. And when we were at the backstage seeing what goes on behind the scenes, you truly appreciate like all the hard work and like graft that's going on. And there was, I think it's a Shortback and Sides, the band.
Shortback and Shields.
Shortback and Shields, thank you. And they were at the front. And I remember saying to my husband at the time, oh, look at them. They're really into this, and they've got all their good gear on, and they're standing with their binoculars, and like, how quaint, guy, binoculars. They want to see what's going on maybe behind the scenes. And I thought, I'm going to go over and chat to them. And as I approached, they were, having a good drink. And I was like, I just think it's amazing. You've got your binoculars with you. And they were like, do you want a drink? And I didn't realise it was vodka and coke on one side and rum and coke on the other. It wasn't even binoculars. It was just the drinks and the binoculars.
Well, it shouldn't have been, because they're too young to be drinking on my festival site. Have you ever words with those boys? Because I see them quite regularly.
You never heard it here, John.
No. To be honest, I think they might have been old enough now because they work at the Fishnet Tavern down the road on the quay. So they might have been. But Showback and Shields were kind of like a product of the Coast Fest youth stage. We run a youth stage each year, and we have like under 18s bands play. And we've had plenty on, and just giving the under 18s a chance to play at the festival as well.
Yeah. On that note, I believe, would you work with Steve Willis then? Because Steve has been like highly involved in like at the Catholic Club. And, and the Mouth of the Tyne, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, Crossing the Tyne.
Crossing the Tyne.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Steve does great work. We did work with him 1 year. Steve does great work. But last year I worked with Bobby Proctor from Tracks, because he gets all the young. He does like a rock school there at his recording studio, and we kind of like use that as like a feeder into the festival for the young bands. So like it's great in the fact that like organisations and companies are all working together. Like Krugal, for instance, have helped us out like immensely with the festival, and obviously Bobby from Tracks, and Steve's done his bit as well, but everybody just seems to come together for it, so it's a great like kind of like group community effort.
It totally is, and I guess that sort of encapsulates sort of the next couple of things I was going to ask you, being like what keeps you hopeful and what does community actually mean to you. And I think you would agree that at the moment, like North Shields has such a strong community spirit, like that's driving us all forward. And it's just everywhere you go, you see the dots joining up, and there's so many changes. What changes have you seen in particular that?
But like in North Shields, I mean, there's always been great creatives and stuff in North Shields, and there's always been the bands, and there's always been like the artists and all the buskers nights and stuff like that, and some great music venues down on the coast, like the Salt Market, and they've got Loading Bay downstairs, the Engine Room, Three Tanners Bank, there's stacks of them. But I think in a way, kind of the Sam Fender effect really helped as well, because obviously a wonderful artist who's won many awards, and he's like world famous now, but he's from North Shields, and he always shines a light on North Shields, and I feel like it kind of gives the young people and the bands a bit of a boost, like, because he's a down-to-earth lad, and it's kind of like, it's a bit like when I was younger, like the Oasis kind of effect, like just a working class band and stuff like that, and then you feel like, yeah, you can do it as well. So it gives them like a kind of like what's like the influence to
Totally, the wonder wall effect.
to go ahead and do it, you know.
Very inspiring.
Yeah, absolutely,
and
absolutely.
One sort of group kind of, it's the help of like, we can do it, so you can do it.
Yeah.
And I think, again, thanks to like Crew Gal and places like Heartbreak Studios and
Yeah.
Steve, and like we may even be as fortunate as to have like South Shields of campaigns, like have the amphitheatre. I think that's
Yes.
something. And the stock exchange, the exchange, Howard Street,
Yeah.
that's got a huge like dancing, well, manpower as well.
Yeah,
King
yeah.
Street. I mean,
At King Street,
venues just booming.
he's done amazing things down at King Street. Has Jeff? He's really transformed the place, and he's getting some. I don't even know how he does it, if I'm honest with you, but he's getting some incredible artists on. I mean, the dancey kind of stuff isn't really my forte, but I understand the importance of it for the people of North Shields and why they enjoy it so much. You know, they want to get out, let their hair down, and have a good time, and that's what a lot of the people from North Shields want to do. You know, and the proof's in the pudding. They do it at Coast Fest, they do it at Jeff's shows. You know,
Absolutely, and it was so amazing because I don't know like half the DJ's name, but like Blessed Madonna was there, and friends are DJs, and they said, "Do you realise it's about like $5,000 like before she leaving like appear anywhere?" So she was there. Then it was all day in the car park, and then it was all night at King Street.
Yeah.
We managed to go all day, but the fact that everyone was coming up from London, Liverpool, and the atmosphere was absolutely fantastic. It was just happy vibes. There was absolutely no trouble. Everybody was super respectful. And then it was on to King Street. But I must say, I had to sort of keen it there. I was like, no, I just got maybe next time, but I don't have that much energy. But yeah, just the energy of the people.
Well, that's it. And you find with the dance music stuff, from time to time, it gets like a raw deal. I think it harks back to the 80s and 90s when there was all like the illegal raves and stuff, what the police were shutting down all the time.
Totally.
But when it's organised and stuff like that, like it's never like everyone's always really happy at these kind of events. You know, like the dance music stuff, and I've been to a few of them in my time, and like I've never had anything but a good time. Never seen any trouble, you know. And Jeff obviously runs a really tight ship down there, you know, and he wouldn't let anything like
He does. And
he's great. He's great.
He's always present, and like I say, it's always like a tight ship. And the fact that he is there, sleeves up, and like just getting in, and the security girls, like we always have a good laugh with them. And in fact, Katie had said, she was so excited. She said, "I'd said to Jeff, next time we just need to have her on the roof." And we're like, yeah, on the roof. Like, could you imagine? But you know, anything's. I get the feeling. Would you agree that anything's possible in Shields at the moment? Yeah. It's just like really busting at the seams with energy and good things coming.
Absolutely.
So I've asked about what inspires your work and things like that's what keeps you going, because it is like graft, and I could imagine it's like relentless at times, and like keeping in touch with artists and making everything well with your team and trying to make everything like run smoothly as possible. What's the hardest thing about building something independent?
The hardest thing, I mean, mainly it's the finances of it. You know, like everything costs a lot of money. At the start of the year, we've got to apply for grants, different kinds of funding, look for sponsors, and we rarely get them. You know, and it's really hard to like kind of like, because there's so many great things, not just in North Shields, throughout the country, and especially the North. There's some amazing things going on, and it's kind of hard to like kind of make yourself stand out within all the noise of all the people applying for the grants and things like that. So we've had a few, but this year we're running on help from an amazing charity called Quinn's Retreat, who they are a charity which helps people who are bereaved by suicide. So what they do is they do amazing work, and they send the families off. They've got a couple of caravans, you know, which they send families off to on holiday, just to give them a little bit of respite, you know. And it's amazing what they do. And I first came across those guys when I was me and my two friends, Richie and Neil, my best pals. We DJ'd online through lockdown when everyone was in the house, and we raised like £20,000 by people. Well, we didn't raise £20,000. The people listening raised £20,000 by just donating for requests and stuff like that. And they managed to buy a caravan. For one of with the money out of the money what we'd raised, you know. And so they're like kind of, I made friends with those guys, and now we're both like kind of pushing the festival forward together. And trying to raise money for the charity.
So wonderful, like you say, and giving relatives and the people themselves that opportunity. It's like first step in the door. Like, again, like a lot of what Krugal actually advocates. And because it's purely like confidence building. There's so much hidden talent. And yeah, long may it continue.
Absolutely.
On that note, John, what do you feel would help local creatives thrive more? Like we've talked about sort of financial input. Anything else you think would help creatives thrive more?
I just think more opportunities. Like I say at Coast Fest, we try to give the artists opportunities. Krugal give amazing opportunities to all sorts of different bands to get professional videos made, to people trying to get into the music industry. And it's all the stuff what they do is free of charge. It's absolutely fantastic, you know. And I've seen firsthand how hard the guys work. But we could do more of this kind of stuff. I mean, I feel like if there was a bit more of a cash injection into the area for this kind of thing, and it was distributed in a clever and correct way, I think that we could maybe start some new initiatives. We could work, or everybody as a collective work towards building something which really gives young artists and creatives a chance to like really thrive, you know, because there's some really, really clever people around here and really, really creative, and it's a shame to see some of them go by the wayside because they aren't able to afford to have a music video made, whereas Krugal offer that, you know, and things like that, you know. So I think that, yeah, I think a lot of it, especially my industry in the music, a lot of it's about money, and it's hard to get the funding for even sending an artist on tour. You're making a loss immediately. Like there's no real way to pay for it unless you get a touring grant or unless you save up for like 2 years. I mean, you go on a 7-day tour and all your money's gone, you know. So it's really difficult. I mean, I manage an artist called Craig Redpath, and we went to London on a nearly £1,000 budget, and we came back with nothing. It was one night, like to get there, the fuel, hire the van, the hotels, you know, and it's crazy. I think a little bit more help for artists to like kind of like show people what they're made of and what they're good at, you know.
Yeah, very true. It's like, say, crazy prices. And I think when you're doing the funding, it's very much focused on what's your unique selling point. Yeah. And on the point of like collaborating and like doing together for all these people, the opportunities are there. And unfortunately, unemployment's a high. Yeah. But people, and come from university or not from university, it's a place to gather. And as volunteer with the magazine, we've been talking about which buildings are in North Shields that we could possibly populate and be a part of a sort of like a good old-fashioned community centre where all these amazing ideas are born, and then you can support. So we're well into the process of requesting that from the council. So hopefully...
Well, that's amazing.
Something like that
that's amazing.
grow.
Fingers crossed, because you guys, I Love North Shields, do great work. You know, I've always been a great supporter of mine at the festival and whatever I've done. And obviously you support others as well. So I feel like if you did have like a premises to work from, for people to congregate and make a community, I think it would be perfect.
It would be fantastic. I think that's definitely...
You can stick that in your press release.
Yes, absolutely. It's a space to watch. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. So, John, who shaped your life growing up?
Well, I mean, there's one actual like prominent moment. I was always into like kind of like guitar music a little bit, but when I went to high school, it was always like kind of the Raven McKenna music, which is I think it's great, you know, like the MCs and stuff are total poets and stuff like that, but it wasn't really my thing. And then I took my options at school and I took music, and I went home for the summer, and my mum and dad were working away or whatever, and I was they were away somewhere, and I stayed at my cousin Craig's house. He's a few years older than me, and he was like, "Oh, you don't want to be listening to that rubbish. You got to like, you want to listen to this." And he gave us Oasis's first and second album to listen to, and he also gave us Snoop Dogg album as well. Doggy Style it's called, and like it's like one of the greatest rap albums of all time, you know. And I took them away because I'd getting a CD player for Christmas. I listened to them, and it just totally changed everything for us. Like listening to those albums and stuff, and I really, really appreciated it. And so this is all his fault, by the way. Why I'm in this predicament, running music festivals and all sorts. But yeah, like I just remember that moment, and then going back to school after my with my options and choosing music, and I walked into the music class, like, oh God, who's going to be in here and stuff like that? Are they going to call us like hippie and things like that, you know? But there was people like Jamie and Gareth Coulter and Lee Toby and Lee and stuff, all who are still good friends. We've now sitting in this room, but there wasn't enough of us to do the music thing, so we had to change and do something else. But a lot of those lads are still working in music now. Like Jamie does like the sound and lights for us at the festival now. He's run a multi-million-pound company before in the past doing PA and stuff like that. And Lee Santon works for Jamie, and yeah, so it's like kind of like, so it goes to show like that we've all had like a real passion for music since like quite an early age. But yeah, that I think just like those lads and my cousin and stuff like that. He doesn't know this, our Craig. Like he hasn't got a clue about this. I haven't told him because he'll not get out the door. but yeah, I think that's what it. And I suppose my dad, like, he kind of like made us listen. Well, not made us listen to like Beatles records and Kinks records and Stones and Queen as well. Apparently, I knew every word of Bohemian Rhapsody when I was 3. My mum tells us. So yeah, man. It's just like kind of like musical influences where people have like kind of shown me like, have a listen to this and stuff like that, you know. And that's like kind of really shaped me musical, like kind of my musical landscape in any ways, like. But and just yeah, there's been plenty of instances, but those are the ones that kind of like stand out, you know.
I can tell that you've still got that thirst for the music and that lust for life.
I don't know why. I don't know why, but I have. No, it's great, man. I love it.
It's kept you going, yeah, glowing with it. So on that note, what's one hidden story you think people should know?
I mean, I don't know how hidden it is now, but in the first year of Coast Fest, we couldn't think of a name for it. It was really, really difficult, so we put it out to the public to think of a name for Coast Fest, and someone said, "Call it Coastchella." And I thought, oh, like, is it kind of like a tongue-in-cheek with Coachella over in California, you know? And I had a look at all the copyrights, and it said they had the copyright for Coachella in Cella. So I went, why don't we call it Coastella instead? So we did like a year's worth of marketing, bought loads of banners, loads of different like promotional stuff, T-shirts printed, and then on the 24 hours before the first festival started, and you can imagine what I was like, we got a email from a lawyer in London saying that we had to close down the festival. Otherwise, they're going to basically take it with the cleaners and take all.
Unbelievable.
Take everything from where. I mean, this is one of the biggest. Well, it is the biggest music festival in the world, maybe aside from Glastonbury. But I didn't even think we were on that radar. Like we're a small community music festival. In a small fishing town up in the northeast of England, you know, like what do they care? But they did. And one of our sponsors at the time, and a good friend of mine, Nigel Devine, he actually knew a lawyer who was in Hong Kong at the time, but he was from North Shields, and he was like, he's like, put us in touch. He goes, oh, I'll help you. But I mean, I don't know what I can say, but his exact words to us, the lawyer will roll over before you get bent over. And I love that. And I was like, right, okay. But I said, look, can I just, I says, it's all set up, the festival, it's all up, like everything's there and set up. Can I send one email back? So I stayed up all through the night on the Thursday night, which I could have done without, if I'm honest, writing this email. And I sent it to the lawyer, and he just went, look at it, like, yeah, go for it. It's well written and stuff. I mean, this is before ChatGPT, which we use for everything now. But yeah, so we sent it off to them, and then they came back and went, right, okay, we're going to allow you to do the festival this year. You've got 10 days to change your name, but we need to know what your name's going to be now. So I was like, Coast Fest? I don't know. And they were like, yeah, we're happy with that. But we weren't allowed to sell any merchandise, which we'd already had printed. We weren't allowed to have any banners up at the festival. I had to take all of the posts down off social media, which referred to Coastella. What else did we have to do? Yeah, but basically we just had to. Oh yeah, I could only refer to the festival as the festival at that point, rather than Coastella. So yeah, that was it. That was a hard one. I was actually, if you go on Coastcast on YouTube, there's actually a podcast all about it if you want to learn a bit more about that. Like,
certainly.
It's got like transcripts of all the emails where I got sent and stuff. So yeah, it was an interesting time, especially on my first festival.
What an absolute nightmare.
Yeah,
It's like you had to retrain your brain to talk completely different about something that was your heart and soul and all your energy and all your team's energy had gone into it.
Yeah.
Well, tribute to you for turning all that round.
Well,
that was certainly some experience.
If I'm honest, I didn't have a choice. it was built, the festival. Like, I couldn't have not done it. Like, but
all in the name. I had something similar, like back home in Dundee. There was a great shop, and it's called Specs Pistols, and like sells really like brilliant, what do you call them, spectacles. But then my friend had said lately that actually the people that run like Sex Pistols had gotten to it, you have to change the name. I thought, well, how punk rock is that? So you just don't think though, do you, that small places like will be seen under like the eye of that, but it just goes to show always under scrutiny.
They've got people watching, definitely, without doubt.
So that was your experience before with Coast Fest, John. How's things been going this year?
It's been great. It's been really, really nice, actually, because I feel like going into our fourth year, we kind of know what we're doing now. Like, I mean, don't get us wrong, we're flying by the seat of our pants at all times.
Always.
But yeah, it's been really good. We've got a great group together again, and everyone like feels really passionately about the festival. I've got 2 headliners booked. I've got Boys Life, who is Brian McFadden and Keith Duffy from Boys Run and Westlife. They come together and they sing all their hits on the Friday. Saturday night, I can't tell you what that is yet, but I'm like kind of in negotiation. I'm waiting for an email right now to see if we've got our Saturday headliner sorted. And then on the Sunday, we've got, I've very selfishly got one of my favourite bands, Ordinary Boys, to come and play. So yeah, we're really, really excited. And then obviously all of the local artists and stuff, I mean, the lineup is just stacked with some amazing artists, you know, so it's going really, really well. The tickets are selling really, really well as well. So like, I'm kind of pleased. I think it's taken like 4 years to really gather this momentum of the festival. I mean, it's been great so far, but I think people are like expecting it every year now, which is great. And hopefully it becomes a North Shields institution and we can keep that going for as long as possible. But yeah, it's like no less of a stress or anything, even though we have like we just for financial reasons and just being a bit more sensible business wise, we've scaled it down a touch. Just so that there's not too much going on, because like I say, everything costs money, and the festival it's amazing, but it's chaos. So we're trying to make it a bit more manageable, you know. But yeah, everything's been great, and it's been a really, really good run in so far. And then the hard work starts now. We're 3 months out, and I think once we get this final headliner sorted, we're going to be out on the streets, handing out the flyers, putting out the posters, doing podcasts and stuff like this, and going on the radio and doing all of that PR stuff. So yeah, really looking forward to this year. And hopefully, fingers crossed, the sun is out over August bank holiday weekend, and everybody can have a good time in the field.
Absolutely. And I think like it sounds like it certainly keeps you spinning on your heels, John, and like doing an amazing job. Overall, where do you feel happiest in the town?
I know I keep talking about the festival, but I suppose that's what I'm here for. But I feel happiest when I'm surrounded by like-minded people in the community and all of our volunteers, when we're all working together for a common goal. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, we've even got Katia, who's one of our volunteers, who's come along just for a bit of moral support today, you know. But I think you might want to say a couple of things on this. Do you want to come and talk about what you do here, so people don't have to listen to me for the whole time?
Hi, Catherine.
Hello.
So what's your role in Coast Fest this year?
A little bit of everything, really. Mainly helping with the traders and the market stalls of food vendors, things like that. Just anything John needs done, emails, anything, I'll be there to help him. Pretty much that's my job.
So you've got experience in like all the different things that go on behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, just the glue that keeps everything together, right?
Yeah, I've had experience in the past with events, helping with market stalls and things like that. So that's where obviously I volunteered to John to do that side of it, which is quite stressful at times and was last year, but it's not going to be that stressful this year, hopefully. But we're getting on with it now.
That's great. And I could imagine you have some right good laughs, at some things like behind the scenes, what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. It's so much fun to help out with. And I've met, I knew John anyway, but I've met quite a few people from Coast Fest volunteers now that I didn't know beforehand. And now we're really good friends. So it's been really, really good.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, making those friendships and then more and more people being interested in it the next year. And as we were saying earlier to John, it's just fantastic how all the dots join up and like in Shields and how it's just, well, it has such a voice of its own,
It is.
doesn't
We've
it?
got our own little clan now. You don't want to know what the WhatsApp group's called, but
I can only imagine. But it's brilliant. Well, here's to if we do like actually achieve like Town of Culture would be fantastic. But also I've heard people saying that even without Town of Culture, we've come so far and it is just like the place to be. Like so many people, well, I've had a few stories actually of people just moving here on the basis of reading a magazine, seeing what's going on the music scene, the arts and culture, everything, and like festivals. So
I love this town. I'm born here, would never leave it. Love it.
yeah, and all your family here, and like, so you're all going. Do you go as a family at the weekend at the
I haven't
festival?
got many family left, but yeah, obviously last year my sister was there as well. So my brother lives in Leeds, but he's hoping to get back up this year. So yeah, we all go. Always will.
Always. We just hope that like the sun shines, but even if it doesn't, we know we've got a
I'm
marquee
sure.
and. Like we said, we went back, like we could weather all storms because we're having such a good time. It's such a
Definitely.
brilliant place.
This year is going to be, I think, probably going to top it.
It'll be epic, especially with the
for me.
lineup. Have you seen the lineup?
Oh yes, I have.
So yeah, Catherine, a few months ago at the Vintage Fair, I remember you had the stall with the tacos. Now they were out of this world. Like I had a few actually, like because I bought one, I come back and then I'd give one to one of the volunteers and then Simon had one. But are you going to be doing that this year?
Yeah, Fraser Viva will be at Coast Fest in the food van this year, so you can get lots more tacos.
Brilliant. That's good to hear. Like always, like good food and like best place. Thanks very much for coming on there, Catherine. Very interesting to hear like your role and how involved you are. And like, well, thanks for your time for being a volunteer because we know it's a lot of work, but you obviously enjoy it and very passionate about it. And
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
so welcome back, John. I've just been chatting to Catherine. I hear it's going to be an epic lineup this year at Coast Fest. How's that going?
Yeah, we like to think so. I mean, we've got first and foremost, we've got all the amazing local bands from the area. We've got all the favourites back. We've got like Bear Park. We've got Liam Fender's back this year, and some great artists. Hells Patterson, Craig Redpath. I think there's about 60 or 70 artists on over the weekend. And obviously we've got our headliners, Boys Life on the Friday, and on the Sunday we've got the Ordinary Boys, and I can't tell you about Saturday yet, but I will do soon. But yeah, there's loads going on, even for the kids and stuff as well. We've got a Wizard of Oz themed kids area this year. Smithy and Kate, his partner, do an amazing job of putting that together, you know. So last year, Kate collected loads of teddy bears from different places and stuff like that, and every kid who came through the door got a teddy bear and a goodie bag and stuff, and like, and those guys were all volunteers as well, you know. So there's plenty going on. You can get your kids tickets and things like that as well now. So yeah, we're really excited, and I think this is going to be the best lineup yet. I think, you know, we're kind of like progressing each year and trying to make things a little bit bigger and better and stuff. So we've got like household names on this year and stuff. But yeah, looking forward to it, and it's a great lineup. I mean, we've got young Joe Bartley playing as well, who's like a real standout because he played up with Sam at St James's Park as well for one of the songs. Yeah, I mean, there's too many to mention really. There's so much amazing talent in the area. It's like, I'm looking at the lineup here on my phone that I try to pick out like a certain artist to tell you about, but like everyone's just brilliant, you know.
Yeah, that's like tremendous. Do like get in touch, because if I Love North Shields, the volunteers and like at the magazine, if we can help you with anything, going back to saying that's what it's all about, and we'll all definitely be there. We're super keen.
That'll be absolutely amazing. You're always welcome. Even just to come down and enjoy the festival, we'll work all that out.
Sounds like it's going to be a fantastic day.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for your time today, John. That's been really interesting. So, John, can you tell us where the festival is and like how do we get tickets?
Okay, so the festival is held on August bank holiday this year, on the 28th, 29th and 30th of August. And it's at Percy Park Rugby Club. We've been there for the past 3 years, and we are continuing with a great relationship with those guys. And you can get your tickets from wegottickets.co.uk, or you can just go to the Coast Fest Instagram. It's probably the easiest way. So it's coast.festival, and we're on social media on Facebook, coast.festival, and also on the Instagram. You just click on the bio and it'll take you straight through. You can get your kids' tickets, which are only £12.50, and the adults' tickets are only £20.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Sounds like, better get your tickets fast, because with that line up, like they are going.
Yeah, they're selling fast, but go get your tickets. It's going to be a great weekend as per usual.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time today, John. I really appreciate that. It's been a great catch-up.
No, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure coming along and chatting to you.
You've been listening to Voices of North Shields. Find us on Isle of North Shields socials. Join us for the next episode.